Impossible is a word to be found only in the dictionary of fools. Courage isn't having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have the strength. If you want a thing done well, do it yourself. In war, the moral is to the physical as 3 is to 1. A soldier will fight long and hard for a bit of colored ribbon. History is the version of past events that people have decided to agree upon. The battlefield is a scene of constant chaos. The winner will be the one who controls that chaos, both his own and the enemy's. The strong man is the one who is able to intercept at will the communication between the senses and the mind. Victory belongs to the most persevering. Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. The torment of precautions often exceeds the dangers to be avoided. In politics, stupidity is not a handicap. The surest way to remain poor is to be an honest man. Glory is fleeting, but obscurity is forever. The people to fear are not those who disagree with you, but those who disagree with you and are too cowardly to let you know. The best cure for the body is a quiet mind. A man will fight harder for his interests than for his rights. The truest wisdom is a resolute determination. Power is my mistress. I have worked too hard at her conquest to allow anyone to take her away from me. A leader is a dealer in hope. Men are moved by 2 levers only, fear and self-interest. From the heights of these pyramids, 40 centuries look down on us. You must not fight too often with one enemy, or you will teach him all your art of war. Ability is of little account without opportunity. There are only 2 forces that unite men: fear and interest. Throw off your worries when you throw off your clothes at night. To understand the man, you have to know what was happening in the world when he was 20. Take time to deliberate, but when the time for action comes, stop thinking and go in. He who fears being conquered is sure of defeat. Conquest has made me what I am, and conquest alone can maintain me. 10 people who speak make more noise than 10,000 who are silent. There is only one step from the sublime to the ridiculous. The best way to keep one's word is not to give it. The strong are always better alone. I saw the crown of France lying on the ground, so I picked it up with my sword. In our time, none has the right to be mediocre. Death is nothing, but to live defeated and without glory is to die every day. The fool has one great advantage over a man of sense. He is always satisfied with himself. The art of being sometimes very bold and sometimes very cautious is the art of success. To do all that one is able to do is to be a man. To do all that one would like to do is to be a god. A picture is worth 1,000 words. I base my calculations on the expectation that luck will be against me. Victory is not always winning the battle, but rising every time you fall. You become strong by defying defeat and by turning loss into gain. Religion is excellent stuff for keeping common people quiet. 4 hostile newspapers are more to be feared than 1,000 bayonets. To extraordinary circumstances, we must apply extraordinary remedies. Great ambition is the passion of a great character. It is not necessary to bury the truth. It is sufficient merely to delay it until nobody cares. A man who saves a nation is rewarded with fame. A man who serves his conscience is rewarded with peace. The throne I built was not made of gold, but of will, strategy, and sleepless nights. I was born not to follow the tide, but to command the sea. What others call madness, I called vision that came too early for the timid. A man must learn to command himself before he commands an empire. They feared my ambition because it held a mirror to their mediocrity. It is not the crown that makes a man royal, it is the fire in his soul. My downfall was not defeat, but trust given to those unworthy of it. A true emperor leads from the front, not from the comfort of a council chamber. Loyalty bought with gold will vanish like fog. Loyalty born of greatness endures like stone. Even in exile, I remained larger than those who judged me. I did not lose Europe. It was Europe that lost its nerve. One strategy well executed is worth 1,000 idle plans. Greatness demands solitude. Only the shallow are sustained by applause. I did not seek war. I merely understood that peace is built upon strength. A single night of clarity can outweigh a decade of noise. My pen wrote laws, my sword enforced them. Both were instruments of order. When others hesitated, I moved. That is the difference between history makers and footnotes. To shape the future, I had to march through the past with unshaken boots. The map of Europe once bent to my will, not by chance, but by calculation. Regret is a luxury I could never afford. I did not aim to be liked. I aimed to be remembered. In the silence between battles, I heard the weight of destiny. Let the world call it arrogance. I called it certainty. Some conquer with armies. I conquered with ideas. Even chained, the lion remembers his strength. I studied men more than books, and it was they who taught me war. I rose because I believed no one else was brave enough to do what needed to be done. Every empire is born from ashes and dreams. Mine was no different. To challenge the world is to invite greatness or ruin. I invited both. Enemies multiply when you aim for the sun. The greatest fortress is a mind unshaken by failure. Each defeat taught me more than a dozen victories. You can exile a man, but you cannot exile his legacy. Even broken, my name marched on. The destiny of nations lies not in treaties, but in decisions made at midnight. I did not ask for history to remember me kindly, only truly. Peace is only respected when it is won by force. Men obeyed me not because I demanded it, but because I inspired it. The sword gave me power. My silence gave it weight. To stand alone is not weakness. It is proof of vision. Not every crown shines. Some burn. I left behind no sons on the throne, but many who still echo my will. In the end, it wasn't Waterloo that undid me. It was human nature. There is no glory in retreat, only in the resolve to return. I didn't conquer Europe to possess it. I conquered it to prove it could be done. A moment of daring outweighs a century of indecision. If greatness is madness, let me be mad forever. They remember my fall, but I remember the climb. My story was never meant for comfort. It was meant for fire. Let others wear laurels, I wore storms.